Hey, what's up, guys? Windows 11 comes with a lot of pre-installed apps and background services that many users never use. One of the biggest complaints, OneDrive, which constantly pushes you to sync your files with cloud and soon runs out of 5 GBs of free space. Stay tuned. In this video, I will show you how to safely remove or disable unnecessary components. This can result in reduced RAM usage, speed up boot time, improve overall responsiveness, better battery life for laptop users, and improves your privacy. My name is Mazhar, and at Right Solution, I create a tutorial for all you DIY people. Now, let's get started. Open your internet browser and search for Winhance. It's a very simple tool that helps you safely remove bloatware, disable telemetry, and customize Windows without breaking anything. On this page, most probably the first result will be from winhance.net. Scroll down and look for a GitHub link from MEMS Tech Tips. Click on it. On this page here, you can see the latest release of this Winhance software. If you click on it, it will take you to the download page, and from this link, it will take you to the winhance.net website. But we are not going to download from there. So just go back. And now in this page, scroll down and look for this link under Quick Install via PowerShell. Just highlight this text, or maybe just click on this button here to copy it. Now you can close this browser window and come to the Start button here, right-click, and open PowerShell with admin rights. Click on this terminal window and paste the link you copied and hit enter. Installer will give you two options, normal installation or portable. I will use normal installation, and for that, type 1 and press enter. It will download the app and install, and when the installation is complete, it will launch the Winhance. Now you can type exit to close this terminal window. In case the app did not start, you can double click on this icon on your desktop to start the app. Winhance will collect system information and will prepare for backup with the Windows current settings. And it will prompt you to create a system restore point. I highly recommend to create this restore point. So click on create restore point. You can observe the progress in the status bar. Restore point creation can take a time. I will fast forward it. Now the restore point is created. Click OK. Now, before we start removing the components, let's get familiar with the app interface and menus. In the right upper corner, you have options to save or import app configurations. You can donate or report a bug, and there is a document link in case you need help. In the left upper corner are the menus. You can choose software and apps, optimize options, and customize menu. And in the left bottom corner, you have advanced tools and some settings. On the upper right side here, it's a search box, and then you got install and uninstall buttons. And when you have selected software and apps menu, it has two sections. The first section is Windows apps and features, and the second is for external softwares. And if you look at the application names, you will find different indicators. Like green dot means this app is installed. Gray dot means this app is not installed. And the green tick beside the app name means this app, if you uninstall, you can reinstall it. And there's a red X, that means if you uninstall or remove this app, you cannot reinstall it again. Before we start, remember, you don't need to remove everything. Debloating is an optional and should be done carefully. Removing the wrong components can break features like Windows Update, Microsoft Store, or even gaming services. So select the one you really don't want. So let's start from Windows Apps sections. I will select Edge Game Assistant, MSN Weather. I don't need Xbox Game Bar and Xbox Game Bar plugin. I don't want Microsoft News and the OneDrive. Now, the OneDrive is not bad. It's a great for backup and syncing your docs, as Microsoft OneDrive is deeply integrated into Windows 11, and for some users, it's very helpful, but for others, it feels intrusive. And because files are being stored in cloud, and it's limited to 5 GBs of free storage, now if you start backing up your photos and videos, it runs out of space in no time. So if you really don't use it, you will see repeated prompts to sign in. Sync notifications can appear regularly. Your folders are being redirected to OneDrive. It uses background resources to monitor file changes. Some people have privacy and control concerns. So I don't use it, and I am going to remove it. I also want to remove Xbox Identity Provider and Xbox Live in-game experience, and of course, Xbox, and also I will remove Solitaire Collection. Head to the second section, which is Windows Capabilities. Choose the apps you don't want to keep. I'm not going to remove anything from here, but you can remove some legacy apps are also here. So when you're done, head to the last section, which is Windows Optional Features, and select the features you don't need. I will keep this untouched as well. So when you have made your selections, now come to this Uninstall Selected Item button and click on it. A confirmation dialog box will appear with the list of all the selected components. Click Continue, and the removal process will start. You can monitor the progress in the status bar. I will fast forward the video to finish the removal process. And now the app's removal is completed and the installation status is refreshed. All right. Now, this is one of my favorite parts of Winhance, the external software section. Click on this button. The beauty of this section is instead of searching and installing apps one by one, you can install and uninstall multiple useful programs in just a few clicks. This is like a curated app store, but focused on essential tools most users actually need. Everything is categorized, so you don't have to guess what to install. Let's start with the browser section. If you don't want to stick with Edge, you can quickly install options like Google Chrome, which I already have, or Mozilla Firefox. I will select Firefox to install, and personally I recommend to have at least one backup browser. It's always very useful. In the compression section, WinRAR is a very useful tool. I always use it, and I will select this one too. Next, in the customization utilities, Microsoft Power BI is a very popular one. If you want to, you can select it. Next is the development apps. You will find a lot of productive tools here, like Notepad++. Let's select it. It's a lightweight but powerful text editor, great for notes and coding. Next, in the document viewer section, here are a lot of PDF and Office tools to choose from. Select the one you need. Next, in the file and disk management, I already have installed a free version of TreeSize. It's a good file browser, and I'm also going to install Advanced Renamer. This is a super useful if you ever need to rename multiple files at once. Here are some tools for gamers. You can install Steam if you need. The imaging section is full with graphic viewer and editors. OneDrive is known for its speed and low resource usage. It's a good choice for quick edits. Next, in messaging, email and calendar section, here I am selecting Mozilla Thunderbird, but since I am on virtual machine, I don't need a desktop email client, so I'm going to deselect this one. Next, we have multimedia with audio and video apps. Here are a lot of apps to choose from, but VLC Media Player is a must-have tool. It can play almost any video or audio format without extra codecs. So let's install it. Next, in the online storage and backup section, you can install Google Drive or Dropbox, whatever you are using. If you're burning or using disks, here are some disk tools for you. Next, in the other utilities section, Revo Uninstaller is a great tool for completely removing programs, but for now I will skip it to keep my virtual system minimal. In the private and security section, you can find essential security or system tools, but just remember that Windows already has a built-in security which is good, so install only that you actually need. And if you ever need remote access to your system, AnyDesk is easy and a popular choice. In the next runtime and dependency section, you got almost every runtime version. I have installed Microsoft.NET Runtime version 6, and now I'm going to install Microsoft.NET Runtime version 8. So I'm going to select it. When you have made all your selections, come to this Install Selected Items button and click on it. It will show you the list of all the selected items. Click on Continue and the installation will start. You can monitor the progress into the status bar. I will fast forward this process. Okay, so installation is complete and all the selected apps are installed. All right, now let's move into the optimization section. And this is where you can really start to feel the difference in performance. Up until now, we have moved unnecessary apps and cleaned up the system. But here we actually fine-tune how Windows 11 runs in the background. These settings focus on improving speed, reducing resource usage, and making the system more responsive overall. I have recorded the performance with current usage of processes, threads, and handles, so we can compare it later. Now, don't you worry, I will walk you through the safe and recommended options so you get better performance without breaking any important features, and Winhance makes these tweaks much easier and safer. Before we dive in, let's get to know these tags. Gray tag with Windows icon are Windows default selections, and the green starred and recommended are Winhance suggested settings. So at this time, there are only 17 out of 88 are selected as recommended, but 72 are set to Windows default options. This custom orange tab means some components have subsections which are selected by users' own preference. So let's open this privacy and security tab and make some changes. On this page, you can change settings for each component. You will find toggle button and it's either on or off positions. Next to this, you can see Windows icon. This means default option, and green star means this is Winhance recommended option. To change these settings, you can use the toggle button, click on the star or on the Windows icon, and the new settings will apply. On the right side, you see the component's current setting. Here, the default setting is highlighted. This means current selection is set to default. Now, let's toggle this button to off position, and now you can see the default is grayed out and recommended is changed to highlighted. Let's follow the same method to change the settings of our preferred components, and if you are unsure of any function, leave it enabled. I will make some changes faster to save some time. I have made quite a few changes. Now let's click on this optimization button to go back to the main page. I have set 83 of 88 to the Winhance recommended settings. Now you can change the rest of the settings section by yourself. Just to give you a heads up, you may find some settings which are logged out. For example, if you open the power section here, you are finding some critical settings which are blacked out. But Winhance still gives you the ability to change it. And if you click on it, it will give you a warning. Read it very carefully. And if you are not sure, don't change it. So there are some different settings in the gaming and performance section, and these settings may require you to restart your system, and some settings also warns you about force deny options. So I suggest if you are not sure of these functions, leave them as is. Now let's take a look into the customization section. Click on the button to load this section. On this page, you can change Windows theme settings, taskbar layout, icons, and behavior setting. You can change start menu layout and settings. And you can customize Windows Explorer, desktop, context menu, devices and peripherals, and a lot more settings. Apply the customization as per your choice. Let's look into advanced tools. Well, everybody may not use everything in here, but Winhance is equipped with advanced tools for power users who want to automate their Windows deployment or manage installation media. Advanced tools allow you to create custom Windows ISOs that automatically applies your settings during installation. If you already have downloaded an ISO, you can select that ISO from here. You can select the folder to mount and extract official Windows 10 or 11 ISO files to an actually working directory. And if you don't have the Windows ISO, by clicking on these Windows 10 and Windows 11 button, you can directly download this from Microsoft's website. You can generate and inject an auto unattended XML file that automates the entire installation process with your current settings. And if you have completed the step 1, you can extract drivers from your current system and inject them into the installation for immediate hardware compatibility. You can generate a new bootable ISO file using Microsoft's official tool. Now, if you go back to the advanced tools and click on create auto unattended XML on this page, you can create your XML file and you can save it, you can export it, and you can import it if you are creating your ISO image on some other machine. Since we have made some changes, let us see the difference in processing window and compare before and after. And let me remind you, I have made changes only in one section. Making adjustments in power and in gaming and performance section will make a huge difference. That's it for this video. If you found this helpful, drop a like and subscribe for more solutions, and I will see you with next video.